and welcome to the first ever episode of A Fan's Perspective. I'm your host, Adam Doherty. In today's video we speak on the current climate in mixed martial arts, particularly the UFC, Bellator, 1FC, everything dealing with mixed martial arts. So the first topic of discussion is Conor McGregor's movement coach. The second topic of discussion is CM Punk. And in the last topic we have Ireland's very own James Gallagher. Let's get into it. The first topic of discussion is Conor McGregor. Not just Conor McGregor, his movement coach, Ido Portal. Now many people don't believe in movement coaches. They say, why would you get a movement coach? It's one of the most famous quotes from Nate Diaz, playing touch bud in the park. That's what Nate Diaz thinks of Conor McGregor's movement coach. But what do you think? And in my opinion, he seems like a nice guy. He seems to know his stuff in regards to movement. But guess what he's doing? He's decided to take his first ever MMA bout. Many people have questioned him over the years since Conor McGregor started working with him. He's going to put his money where his mouth is, basically, and hop into the cage for his first MMA bout. Now, my issue with this is he going to be an amateur or is he going to go straight into the pro leagues? Well, with Ido Portal being a huge figure in the sport of mixed martial arts and movement, will he be a professional? That's the big question here, because it's clear that he might have some physical advantages over many amateurs. So he's probably going to go straight into the pro leagues, which means he's going to be fighting other professionals who have studied the craft of mixed martial arts, where they already have years under the belt in boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, taekwondo, muay thai, all these other sports, where Ido Portal has only been, as Nate Diaz likes to say, playing touch bud in the park. So that's the big question. In my opinion, I think that he's a supreme athlete. You can see that he does have some physical attributes that could contribute and help him in a mixed martial arts bout. What happens when Ido Portal gets hit? Many people don't like getting hit. Many people can be the hammer, but can they be the nail? And that's a big question when it comes to Ido Portal. In my own opinion, on this whole scenario with Ido Portal, I say fair play to him. He should do his MMA bout, and if it goes well, he should try have a career in MMA. Because why not? Why should we knock him for trying? That's just my opinion. I feel he's doing the right thing. He's putting himself on the line for this MMA bout. Go towards his goals. He should show people that he's not just a movement coach, that he can be a successful mixed martial artist. And if he wins his first fight, fair play to him. So the next topic of discussion, CM Punk. Now many people, just like Ido Portal, question CM Punk, but they question him not because of his credentials, because why is he fighting? That's the big question. I believe CM Punk is near 40 years of age. I'm not too sure. He had no amateur experience in any sports whatsoever. He done pro wrestling, and many people think pro wrestling's fake and all that sort of stuff. But let's be real, you have to be an athlete if you want to be in the WWE. It's tough on your body, tough on your limbs. It's difficult to do. Let's be real, if you look at CM Punk's body, he doesn't look like a physical specimen. He doesn't look like Yoel Romero, or better yet, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was an accomplished amateur wrestler who then eventually found his way into the UFC, and that's his background. That's how he was able to do so well in the UFC. But CM Punk is not that. CM Punk is a showman, if you'd like. But one thing I will say about CM Punk, fair play to him for trying. If he wants to be a fighter, go be a fighter. If you want to hop into the cage, go be a fighter. He said he didn't want to disrespect the sport and all this sort of stuff, but yet he got paid 500,000 for that one fight and he lost. Now that's the big problem that many people see with it, but I don't see that, because he's a big draw. He's a huge name already. He's not like a regular person with a standard 5-0 record going into the UFC, or 6-0, 8-0. Everyone knows who CM Punk is. Everyone knows who he is. Whether we like him or not, we know who he is. And that's why he got paid 500,000. CM Punk alluded to a second fight. The second fight, he just tweeted out, it reads, "Just 9, after I win and lock eyes with my beautiful wife, embrace my coaches and shout out my entire team." Now, someone tweeted at him, when was he going to fight? And this was his response. So, June 9th, I believe it's UFC Chicago 225, I believe it's. So it's a pay-per-view event. Why would you have CM Punk on a pay-per-view? Well, people are going to watch it and say, has he trained different? And if he's trained different, can he switch the fans around and say, I belong? Can he get the fighters on his side to say he belongs in the UFC? Who are you going to match him up against? Because Mickey Gall beat him, then Mickey Gall beat Sage Northcutt. Are you going to put CM Punk against Sage Northcutt for a fight? The answer for that is no, because Sage Northcutt is a higher level athlete. He's also a higher level fighter, whether people want to admit it or not. He has some experience in the octagon, more experience than CM Punk. Who would you match him up against? Guess who you should match him up against? And I heard Joe Rogan and Brendan Schaub say Floyd Mayweather. Why not? Floyd Mayweather versus CM Punk, UFC 225. Make the fight happen. Why not? An excellent fight for the fan. I'm gonna watch it. It might be a shit show in many people's eyes, but guess what? It's entertaining. Who wouldn't want to see Floyd Mayweather in the octagon? And maybe after that, if he beats CM Punk, he goes and fights Conor. Easy work for Conor, but fun fight. So CM Punk hopefully gets back in the octagon and we can see whether he switched it up or not. And that's the big thing with CM Punk. We just want something more. He didn't give enough in his last performance, so hopefully he can give a decent performance and maybe say that he belongs in the UFC. The next topic of discussion, sadly Ireland's own James Gallagher has to withdraw from Bellator 196 in Hungary after injuring his hand. Now, for many people who might say, James Gallagher, just another Conor McGregor wannabe. He's not that. You have to remember, James Gallagher is from Northern Ireland. He's not from Dublin, where Conor's from. So they might look the same, they might talk the same, but they're not the same people. You also have to remember, Conor McGregor's knocking everybody out with his hands, but James Gallagher's going out and submitting people. Conor McGregor's coach, John Kavanagh, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He wants his fighters to win. I say he loves more for his fighters to use his craft, to use jiu-jitsu. And that's what he has with James Gallagher. James is going out and saying he's going to submit his opponents. They can't stop his ground game. And that's what you see. Now, I believe James Gallagher is a purple belt. It's not like he's a high-level black belt, like a Damian Maia, or you've seen in, I believe it might have been last week's or the week before, UFC, Mackenzie Dern. He's not a high-level black belt. But guess what he is? He's a high-level mixed martial artist who knows what to do when he's on the ground. In MMA, he might not be able to submit a high-level black belt in a jiu-jitsu competition, but he's able to do it in MMA. His last fight, he fought Shinzo Machida. Shinzo has a huge reputation because of his brother Lyoto Machida, another high-level black belt. Now, I'm not too sure whether Shinzo is a high-level black belt. I don't know the family tutelage, but all I know is that he's a high-level mixed martial artist and he has a huge reputation. And James went out and submitted him. James Gallagher's performance at that Bellator New York card was one of the highlights of the night. I believe Aaron Pico lost his first fight. So who stood out? James Gallagher stood out. And ever since then, been waiting for him to fight. Now, for those who don't know, I train in Straight Blast Gym, or in the same gym as James Gallagher, and what I will say is, although I haven't trained with him, I just know from the outside looking in that he's an animal. He really is a hard working individual. If James has to pull out of a fight, it's not because he has a broken toenail, it's because he's seriously injured. From my own eyes, I've seen James limping in and out of that gym. He doesn't care. He trains non-stop. He's a hard-working individual. And if he had to pull out from Bellator 196 in Hungary, fair enough. I believe it was meant to be in April, so push it back. Push it back till June, July. Get him involved in a summer card. Bring him back to New York. Why not? Have him on a major card to show off his talents, because he's a very talented individual and he can perform under those big lights. I believe James Gallagher can be the Bellator champion. Whether it's 135 where he's discussed dropping down a division, or whether it's 145, I believe he can go on and be the champion, because you never know. If he gets that 145 belt, then goes down and gets the 135 belt, maybe then he might push on to the UFC. He's also very young. I believe he might be in his early 20s, 21, 22. So hopefully he can push on. That's just from my perspective, because he is an Irishman, because we train in the same gym, and yeah. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, this has been the first ever episode of Fans Perspective. I might bring these daily just to give people the news, the lowdown of what's happening in the mixed martial arts community and world. So I believe there's a UFC this weekend, so later on the week I will bring out my breakdown for that UFC fight card. I believe it might be Fabricio Verdum against Alexander Volkov in, I believe it's in London, so London fight card, close to home, but sadly can't make it. But yeah, it's been the first episode of A Fan's Perspective. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe. Thanks for watching.